I was presented with an opportunity around, this time last year. Yeah, it's been life-changing, I suppose.
And what's great is I'm seeing all of these signs all over the area with a duck. Well, hello and welcome to the About Small Business podcast. We're going to be doing a short series of revisiting some guests, and it seems only logical that we start with the chap who is kind of responsible for it all, really.
Number one,
Simon Bourne. And no longer the hand-dyed shoe company.
No.
We're now Bourne Co Estate Agents.
Yeah, it's been a wild 12 months, really, hasn't it?
It's been a fascinating year. I mean, it's actually over a year. So, I think middle of February.
Is that when we
originally recorded?
Wow.
Same building, but we're upstairs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I've been quite a learning journey for myself, and you've had a heck of a journey, haven't you?
Yeah. So when we first spoke last year, I mean, I was definitely like in a really good place. Like things were mentally like really much stronger, happier. Things were. I was in the process of finding change. Something had to change from a financial perspective. I wasn't earning enough money. I loved my business. I loved what I built, but it just wasn't earning enough money. And I was presented with an opportunity around this time last year to move downstairs from my business upstairs and into the property world. And
what was Alexander Estates?
It was Alexander's, with Paul Morgan. So he very kindly offered me the opportunity to come in and just learn from him and sort of shadow him for a few weeks or a few months actually. And then by July time, he decided to retire, and I took the reins and haven't looked back since, really.
I'm going to say it's clearly something that you're really enjoying doing.
Love it, absolutely love it. It's I say it all the time, and I've said it today to a few people. What I've realised is it doesn't matter if it's driving a taxi, which I've done, if it's selling a pair of shoes or selling a property. The consistent thing through it all is people, and I just love people. I love to help people, whether that's help them make a pair of shoes or whether that's help them sell a property or buy a property. Like I get the buzz, from that, and it's been life changing, I suppose.
What I love about this is, I've been speaking to a number of other businesses, and frankly, there's a lot of doom and gloom.
Yeah.
And why I was particularly keen to speak to you is I think you kind of epitomise the fact that you can start again.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You've had successes with hand-dyed shoe company. You've decided it's not going to serve you as well as it perhaps you maybe hoped it would.
Yeah.
But here you are, and you're on Lanchester High Street.
Yeah.
You've made the place your own.
Yeah, thank you.
You've got your own identity. And what's great is I'm seeing all of these signs all over the area with a duck. And I'll let you explain that.
Well, begrudgingly explained is probably the right phrase, because what I wanted when I took over and I was going to rebrand it, I really wanted a board that was distinctive, that was it felt Lanchestery, it had a bit of pizzazz, shall we say.
I'm going to say, just to clarify for anyone else watching that doesn't know, you live in Lanchester, and the estate agency, it is really, you will obviously look after the area.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but you're particularly keen to get any property you can in Lanchester.
Absolutely love Lanchester. I want to serve the residents here and the community and do good things here.
Yeah.
But I was really keen for a board that just said something a bit different to for sale, sold, or whatever. And I was keen to put an image of some description on, and then it was Lauren, my wife, who is actually my business partner now in this new business. She said to me, "Why don't we put a duck on it?" And I went, "Nobody will get it. Nobody will understand it." And just for clarification, the reason, I used to call my granddad Duck Granddad, so there's an affinity with ducks, and we actually own ducks. Yes. We actually have our own flock of ducks. So I was like, but if you don't know that, then people will just think it's weird, and why is there a duck on a board? And in the end I relented and I said, right, okay, we'll go with a duck. And what a hit it's been. Like, so many people have mentioned that they love the board.
I think they look fantastic. I will be honest, I'm slightly disappointed in you. I thought you were the creative genius behind this.
Who knew?
And it's Lauren, your
Lauren.
lady wife.
Yes, I have to.
Fair play, Lauren.
Yeah, she gets the credit. She gets the credit for that one.
But a really great twist, a really great idea, and I think sort of does put a kind of unique stamp on it.
Yeah.
And I think also the fact that I'm now noticing them.
Yeah.
Sort of as I walk around Lanchester.
It's the association, isn't it? It's that's the Lanchester Village Board almost, you know, and it feels like it almost belongs in the village now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, a great twist there. But I mean, in terms of your change from what you were doing with a hand-dyed shoe, and I mean, we've discussed this at length anyway about I suppose the transferable skills you've got. You are a marketer, you're a salesperson, you've got the expertise in e-commerce, and you've got all these creative skills that you've built up.
Yeah.
And the property industry, I can see certainly the sales go straight across.
Yeah.
But obviously that there are more specific sort of laws, legislation, and things like that.
Yeah.
How are you finding all that side of things? Because that's quite steep. I mean,
it's a lot, particularly at the beginning when you don't know when you're coming into this industry. It's heavily regulated, and there's lots of things that you've got to adhere to, and if you don't, you can literally be shut down. And I suppose what I've learned from this is the transition from one business to another is the excessiveness of my ability to be resilient. So I'm not somebody ever really that ever worries too much about, I can't do it because I've got to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just a case of, well, I've got to do that then. Do you know what I mean? So if I've got to do a course, or I've got to do some reading, or I've got to make a phone call, or speak to a professional, or ask a mentor, or then that's just what I do. Do you know? So it's like, I'm never really somebody who stops because there's an obstacle. I'm just like, right, well, let's get on with it and let's just find a way to do that. And listen, I've made mistakes. It's, in the first year, there's times, I've bought 2 policies for the same thing that I turned out I didn't need 2. I only needed 1, and it cost me £700 and, things like that. But, next year I won't make that mistake, and I think that's the lessons, isn't it?
I think that's a crucial thing. It's like you just accepting that you're going to carry on learning.
Just carry on. It's every day is a school day. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean, just with regards to the regulations and things, and it's something that I've been mindful of. As I've got a buy-to-let property, and it's interesting that other business owners that I've been speaking to in this series who are really concerned about the changes in the law for the employment. Now, I mean, I'm not sure. Do you employ anyone here?
No, we don't.
So you've not got some of those issues to worry about. But I mean, are you getting many landlords sort of concerned about the changes?
There's definitely alarm bells ringing there. The new renters bill was just released. There's lots of changes between potential changes, should I say, with the EPC laws. So the energy performance certificate have to be a certain level for you to be able to rent your house within a certain period. And there's anxiety there. Do you know what? I think it's like any industry. There's always like change. Do you know what I mean? And I suppose my job really is to keep on top of that change and to be able to inform and hopefully advise as well, and that's what I'm trying to do. So
I mean, in terms of the business that you've been getting, are you looking to focus on sort of the sales or the letting side? Or are you just quite happy with
both, really? I mean, I definitely enjoy the sales side more. I'll say that, and that's just because it's a big win, it's a big number, and let's not shy around it. You know what I mean? It's nice to get paid a nice juicy sum. But more so, it's like you're helping people like move into their dream house. Anybody who's buying a house generally, if it's for themselves, it's a big emotion, it's a big feeling.
Absolutely.
And likewise, somebody selling it is ready to move on to their dream as well. So I think that's what I enjoy. That's the bit that I really get a fruity sort of feeling out of, if you like. And the letting side, though, is equally as important, and what I won't shy away from is the engine of the business, and without that, really, the office doesn't exist, because the letting side that's a continuous income, and obviously that's really important. So
and I think that does make sense. It's like, so you've got these different streams which keep you going. So I mean, in terms of with what you do, and I do think it's also worth mentioning, you've got a sub business.
Yeah.
Within the business.
I do, yeah.
And one that's managed by your daughter.
That's right, yeah.
Your daughter Daisy. How old's?
Daisy's 11.
She's 11 years old,
yeah.
and she's got her own business.
She has, yeah.
And I'll let you tell me a little bit more about that if you can.
So, I mean, she should tell you. Maybe we should get her on a podcast.
That would be
She would
interesting.
enjoy that. She would enjoy that. So she came home one day and she was asking me about how you make money in business and things like that. And I said, well, put it this way. If you buy a plant for £5, how much would you sell it for? And she said, £5. And I said, well, that doesn't really work because then you've not made any money. And she said, yeah, but that means you'd be scamming people if you'd sell it for more than what you've paid for it, you know. And this is what her mindset was, you know, and it was obviously very innocent.
Yes.
So I tried to explain about profit and loss, this, that, and the other, and then it became apparent that she when she got her head round it, I said, well, come on then, let's go to B&M. And we went to B&M and we bought like a whole load of plants, which you see around us here. And I said, right, come in on Saturday and you can sell them. And she came in, she set up a little table and she made £120, I think it was, on her first day selling plants. And in her head, you know, when I say made, revenue, £120, she'd spent £60-70 on the plants, so she'd made £50. So then we sat down and we evaluated, so what are you going to do with your £50? Well, I'm going to buy some more plants, and that's how this sort of evolved.
Did she actually say that I want to buy more?
I want to buy some more plants because I want to do it again. I want to do it again. And that's the thing. So, like, for me, it's a brilliant mathematical exercise for a young person, but also, like, you know, I've helped her set up a website. I've helped her set up her own email. Do you know what I mean? And things like that. So I'm trying to give her a little dollop of marketing guidance and things like that, and help her understand those things as well. And I just think it can only be a good lesson.
Absolutely. And on that note, I think it's probably worth talking about, like, I suppose your own USP for this agency.
Yeah.
And I was telling you the other day, like, sort of a number of my friends are noticing the videos that you've been making.
Yeah.
Can you just explain a bit more about them?
Well, obviously, I'm really shy, Barry. You know, like, I'm really shy. I've invested in some really cool technology, gimbals, cameras, lenses, things like that. And what I'm trying to do is, I'm very much of the opinion that anybody can list a property.
Yeah.
But can anybody sell a property? And, you know, every agent will tell you that they can sell a property. But I would definitely say that my USP is I sell. You know, it's never just a pink wall. This is a beautiful baby pink wall that has character, and it lifts the room and it gives a bright and airy feel through it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So how do we get that across? Well, we can write it down in particulars. We can take a photograph of it, or we can create a video where we can actually pan across it and give it a bit of theatre as well.
Yeah.
So video for me is a big part of what we're doing. It's very much like, I guess, like a Grand Designs or a Homes Under the Hammer style production, rather than just walk around the house with a camera. Here's the dining room, here's the living room, that type of thing.
There's so much more to making a video.
Trying to present it, trying to give it a face, and trying to, you know, give it an accent, obviously, and things like that, which gives it localization, and sell the house rather than just show people it.
Yeah, and and it's getting noticed.
Yeah,
and hopefully that is going to be a hallmark. You've got the duck, and you've got the business within the business.
Yeah,
it looks like it's all coming together nicely.
Yeah, thanks.
And I can only wish you well for the next year, and I'm sure it's going to go really well. So thanks again.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Pleasure. I'll see you in a year for episode 3. See what I'm doing then, eh?